What's going on, guys? Main Event Star here, and we're going to try something a little bit new. I do have some new recording equipment, and we're all in HD now, so I am a pretty big fan of the UFC, so I'm going to start simulating uh, fights and possibly maybe full events from UFC shows whenever they come around. This Saturday is UFC 152, and it's headlined by Johnny Bones Jones versus Vitor Belfort, so I figured I'd sim a fight here, see what happens in the main event of the pay-per-view. Should have been the main event of the last pay-per-view, but, well, we all know what happened at UFC 151. Oh wait, it didn't happen. It didn't happen at all. Due to an injury to Dan Henderson, Chael Sonnen stepped up to the plate and was going to fight John Jones, but John Jones declined the fight and was actually scheduled to fight Machida too as well, but Machida turned down that fight, so they just canceled the event altogether. Completely unheard of. Dana and Jones passed the blame on one another as to the real reason why the event was canceled. And nothing like that has ever happened to the UFC under Zuffa, so that was a pretty unprecedented event. So hopefully nothing like that will happen again. I do think that the champions do have a little bit more power in the UFC than they should. But, like Dana said, you can't force people to fight. Either you fight or, you don't get paid, basically. So, but for Jones to turn down that fight when he was, he was in camp and he was prepared. And even if he fought Chael Sonnen would be fighting out of weight class, and he had just got beat by Anderson Silva, and he was not in shape for a fight or anything. Jones, in my opinion, would have wiped the floor with Chael completely, and almost immediately. But even if it was a non-title fight, I think they could have had a non-title fight on that card and just had Jones fight. I think that could have been an option they could have went with, and they wouldn't have had to cancel that pay-per-view. And that the people that really got affected by that event were the undercard fighters, because those fighters, don't get paid like the heavy, top of the card guys, and they fight basically to pay their bills, and them not being able to fight affected their lives. And you could see it on Twitter too whenever all that happened, and all the fighters getting on Twitter and just expressing their disappointment with that event being canceled. But anyways, that's kind of what I feel about UFC 151. I think it could have happened. I think it should have happened. Maybe John Jones defend the title, maybe not defend the title, and just have a non-title fight against, maybe a middleweight like Chael Sonnen or somebody else. But we'll see how it goes. UFC 152, Vitor versus Johnny Jones. We're going to get the fight started. As for the actual fight, I kind of think it will go as this sim fight went, and it was pretty much controlled the entire time by John Jones. Jones, I think, just has too much of a reach advantage, and he's so good right now, it's crazy. I have actually seen the last couple of fights of his, and I'm no fight expert by any means. I would label myself as a casual fan of the UFC. I like to think that I at least have a general understanding of the sport enough that I can know what I'm talking about. But I'm not, to me, there are like three levels of UFC fans or mixed martial arts fans. There's the B-dubs drunk guy who just yells profanities the whole time and yells and screams during the entire pay-per-view. And then there's the normal guys, the normal casual fans. And then there's the hardcores that, proclaim that they train Brazilian jiu-jitsu and know everything that there is to know about mixed martial arts. I'm just a casual fan. I enjoy it. It's a great alternative. I grew up as a pro wrestling fan, so for me, when pro wrestling sucks, I can go to mixed martial arts and be entertained. And I think there's a lot more. I think the two have more alike than people want to admit. especially when it comes to showmanship. You know, if you want to look at it this way, at UFC, you know, with 151 being canceled, John Jones made himself out to be one hell of a villain. You know, and he did, you know, kind of take part of the responsibility. He admitted that he, you know, was sorry that the event got canceled because he, you know, didn't take that fight. But at the same time, you know, what if he would have lost that fight? What would have done for him? That fight did absolutely nothing for him. So while I'm actually ignoring a pretty solid simulation fight, if you guys want my simulation settings, I will leave them down in the description below. I have pretty well found that this gives you the most realistic fights. I do have a lot of fights that go to decision, which was a huge problem in UFC, you know, 2009 and 2010, because the fights would just be complete rock'em sock'em robot brawls, and everybody would get knocked out in the second round, you know, no matter what you do simulation. And I love simulating these fights on this game. I think this game is the closest you can get to an actual simulated fight. So props to THQ. It's unfortunate they lost the license to EA, but maybe EA will be able to pick up where they left off and make a complete game. But I believe I play simulation fights on advanced setting with sim fatigue and all that kind of stuff. I don't remember exactly, but I will leave a link in the description. So, as we saw in the first fight, or the first round, excuse me, Jones pretty well dominated that round. He actually rocked Vitor a couple times. So, we'll see what happens in the second round. But anyways, back to this actual fight. I think Jones's reach advantage is just going to be too much. And he gets Vitor in a very bad position here and just rains down some elbows. But Vitor recovers. So props to Vitor. Jones is really trying to knock him out in this fight. He just can't quite hit that one shot that knocks Vitor out. So we'll kind of just let the simulation play out for the rest of this. I just want to go ahead and start getting into wrapping some stuff up here. I hope you guys do enjoy this video. If you do, like it, leave a comment. Let me know what you think of UFC 151, what you think of this fight, what you think of UFC 152, Chael Sonnen, Dan Henderson. Whatever you guys want to talk about, just leave a comment below, and I'll try to respond to as many as possible. If you guys do enjoy this, also let me know so I can post some more videos, maybe do more of the undercard fights or maybe just the main event fights. That'd be great, and if you guys are interested, I will definitely do some more. I do have new equipment, so I'm just playing around, just trying to see what everybody likes to see, and we'll go ahead and let this fight finish out. And this is Main Event Star, and see you guys later.
Side control again. Into half guard. He's in the full guard here. And into side control. That's a huge left hand. Oh, he's even hurt more. Oh, he recovers. He ain't that one. Oh, he's tagged again. Oh, this is ugly, Mike. Vicious ground and pound. The referee has stopped the fight. Wow, what a display.
What a performance! He defends the UFC light heavyweight title.
And that's the beginning of the end. Gets on top of him and swarms on him.
Watch it again.
And here's how he finishes him off. Just picture perfect ground and pound from the side control.
The veteran voice of the Octagon, Bruce Buffer, has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, Referee Herb Dean has called a stop to this contest at 3 minutes, 51 seconds of the second round, declaring La Gagnante and the winner by TKO, and still the UFC Light Heavyweight Champion of the world, John Bones Jones.
John Jones is still UFC Light Heavyweight Champion.